Now, what happens to people who've been traumatised after serving their country when they leave the military? Well, Later After is a new play which lays bare the impact of working in a war zone and the psychological scars it leaves behind. It follows the struggle of a former army bomb disposal officer and the police psychiatrist attempting to uncover the reasons behind his explosive temper. It's been written by Jane Harvey-Berwick, a Cornish author and playwright, and Mike Spears, himself a former army bomb disposal officer. And it aims to show how leaving war doesn't mean finding peace. Let's take a look.
I should have died out there.
As human beings, this is what we do. We find ways to cope.
They call it the Long Walk.
Well, joining me now in the studio is Neil Anthony, who plays the lead role of the former army bomb disposal officer Alex Hunter. How did you get involved with the play, Neil?
The writer of this particular play was actually thinking about putting a feature film together, and she sent the basic dialogue to our director, Elizabeth Thick, for a little bit of advice and guidance. And Elizabeth found right in the middle of this production is this one interview scene between my character, Alex Hunter, who's been caught fighting in a bar. He's been brought in by the police, arrested. His behaviour is a little bit odd, so they call the police psychiatrist. And from that, we developed this 90-minute piece, which we think is very important to highlight what happens to people later after.
And Later After, the title of the play, what's the significance of that?
Later After is, I think everyone knows about the struggle of fighting a war. But as I've discovered, that struggle doesn't stop once you come home. And these people go through tremendous physical and mental stresses that stay with them, potentially for the rest of their lives. And I think we as a society need to look after these people.
Do you ever think about killing yourself?
I'm trying to get into your head before you get into mine. The curse of my job is in the detail. You have no way of knowing what can possibly help.
I mean, it really is explosive to just look at. I mean, what's it like to play a character like that?
It's incredibly intense and incredibly difficult. Bear in mind, this is a work of fiction, but all the events that actually happen and are relayed through my character's voice happened to real people, and indeed happened to, many of them, happened to the individual who's helped us write this. It's very much a composite character. While the actual incident is fictitious, everything that we discuss is not, it's real.
In terms of combat stress, we've been looking at some of the figures that they've given us. Around 1 in 25 veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan likely to form some sort of PTSD. How do you think a play like this and plays like it can help?
I think it'll help the families and the people around these individuals to understand a little more of what they're going through. To illustrate that, we had a lovely little incident down when we did a run of this show in Cornwall, in Penzance, when a couple came up to myself and the crew afterwards, clearly very emotional, and said, our son is an ammunition technician, a bomb disposal officer. He's got in grave difficulty. He's not allowed near his family, he's not allowed near his wife, he's cut himself off from his close friends. We've just sat through an hour and a half's illustration of what we think he's going through. So tomorrow we're going to go and see him, give him a big hug, and just try and get back to him.
Fantastic. Well, tell us about the proceeds from the play. I understand a donation is going to be made to a charity. Tell us more about that.
Yes, we're going to make a donation from this run to the Felix Fund, which is a charity that supports EOD operators and their families through crises when they come out of the army and have to live the rest of their lives, having done this tremendously stressful job that they're trained to do. When they're let loose, I suppose I was going to say into the outer wider world, but just when they stop doing it, how do you cope with that? And some of these people are very badly traumatised and will never be able to live normal lives.
Later After, being performed at the Drayton Theatre in London from the 7th to the 11th of July. Go see it. Neil Anthony, thank you.
Thank you.